Good evening, and welcome to the Psychic Golf Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and with me tonight is my Techie with Mostest, Techie Joe.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, darling?
Pretty good. Looks like we accidentally matched.
Well, possibly. I mean,
I
this
really
is
wasn't
what
thinking
happens
when I
when we buy the
grabbed.
clothes.
Yeah. I just caught it though when we were came up. I was like, oh my god, we match.
Yeah. Hello,
Oh,
Brenda.
hey Brenda. Hey
Ooh,
Shannon.
pineapple and banana peppers together is a good one, Shannon.
Oh, yeah. I'm not so big on the banana peppers and pineapples. So
Right.
yeah, we so to fill everyone in who's not seeing comments. So Shannon ordered a pizza and they put pineapple on it. Doesn't taste as awful as what my husband gets, so I might not mind it so much so long as there's no meat. Brenda's like, I don't mind it when it's Canadian bacon and pineapple. Her ex used to get that. But she can only eat one slice because she's allergic to pineapple.
Mm.
Hey.
I like the pine. What I like is called a garbage pizza, or it used to be called a garbage pizza.
Mhm.
It is every topping they have,
Mhm.
all over it.
Oh, so Shannon ended up with a mushroom, onion, and pineapple.
Yep, delicious.
Okay, mushroom, pineapple, and ham used to be my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably with a white sauce, but I'll take what I can get. I'll go for a marinara
Right.
or whatever the red sauce, pizza sauce is. Um, I always called that one the psychedelic Hawaiian
Mm-hmm.
because typically a mushroom or a mushroom,
Right.
a ham and pineapple pizza is a Hawaiian. And then I added the mushroom, so I called it a psychedelic Hawaiian pizza.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that. I like that. We've had that, but I like a garbage pizza.
Yeah, you're all about like everything in the kitchen sink on your pizza.
Mm-hmm. It
Like
should be
if
a full meal.
if you can pick up a slice and get it to remain straight while moving it towards your mouth, that's
Yeah.
a pizza you don't like.
No, I want to have to use a fork.
Like I've noticed you like when you order pizza, it never like that's a fork and knife pizza for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Edwin would do onion, pineapple, bacon, Canadian bacon, ham, and sausage. Wow, that's a lot of meats.
That's a good bit of meats.
Pardon?
That's a good bit of meats. Like
It
he's,
is. It's a very meaty
but
pizza.
it is missing something.
Oh, what barbecue sauce?
No,
Oh,
it is
that's right.
missing the oh, what is that? It's the Italian bacon. It is missing mushrooms. It is missing green peppers. It is missing banana peppers. It is missing
He's not
anchovies.
kidding when he says he does garbage pizza.
Right.
Um, yeah, like it's literally everything.
Yep.
Like, and the concept of why it's called a garbage pizza is it's sort of like if you assume that they have to lose some toppings into the garbage,
Hmm.
it's like they shook their garbage can out and whatever fell on the pizza fell on the pizza.
Right.
Like that's what he orders.
Hmm.
Like everything. Or your end of night garbage if you have to dump all your toppings that are remaining.
Hmm.
So yeah, either which way you want to interpret that's what he orders.
Right.
Like he's not even picky. Like he's fine if it skews.
Hmm.
Like if it's really heavy on ham and light on onion or like whatever, it's just like just throw it.
Right.
It's just basically like throw your hand into the bin, throw it on the pizza, and keep going, and just keep doing that till you run out of beds with toppings.
Right.
Yeah. Anywho,
Anyhow, we don't know what we're talking about right now. I threw him an article.
you did. So yeah, that's from Yahoo News. Well, actually from AP News. Democrats sue for West Virginia GOP Governor Jim Justice's calendar amid Senate run. Oh, what are they interested in his calendar for? So the Democratic Party's U.S. Senate campaign arm is asking a Charleston-based judge to order the release of the calendar of West Virginia Governor Jim Justice, a Republican running to take over the seat held by Democratic Senator Joe Manchin in 2024. The Democratic Senate Campaign Committee filed a lawsuit against Justice's office Tuesday in Charleston-based Kanawha County Circuit Court in response to an April 13th rejection of public records pertaining to the state leader's schedule, according to court records. Jim Justice cannot hide his work schedule or lack thereof from West Virginians, and this is an area which is sure to receive further scrutiny in his nasty primary and in a court of law, committee spokesperson David Bergstein said in a press release announcing the suit. Justice, whose family owns dozens of companies and the Greenbrier luxury resort near the Virginia border, was the most wealthy man in all of West Virginia when elected governor in 2016. For 2 terms, he's been dogged by criticism that he's rarely at the State House and accused of being a part-time governor.
Well, I think that he is a part-time governor. The rest of the time, he's running around Greenbrier County with a floor to the gas pedal.
Oh, gas pedal to the floor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His office has been reticent to share his calendar, saying it isn't a true reflection of his work schedule. Justice announced last month he was entering the 2024 race for U.S. Senate, joining a GOP primary where he will be pitted against U.S. Rep. Alex Mooney, who announced his run for Manchin's seat less than a week after his re-election to the House in November. Manchin has not yet officially announced whether he will run for re-election in 2024. The senator had recruited Justice to run for governor as a Democrat before Justice switched to the GOP at a rally for former U.S. President Donald Trump during his first term. Oh, yeah. So Justice's campaign quickly pushed back against the Democrat suit on Tuesday, calling it nothing more than a political ploy. Justice campaign manager Roman Stauffer said the governor is the front runner in this campaign for U.S. Senate. The polling shows that he beats every other candidate, Stauffer said in a statement. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are panicking and will do everything they can to prop up Alex Mooney, whom they know they can easily beat in the general election.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh. The lawsuit states Justice's office has refused to produce the most basic records from his time as governor, lists of the official meetings scheduled for him and his most senior staff. The committee is asking a judge to rule that the governor is violating public records law and to prohibit him from withholding records without justification. So, yeah.
I mean, my schedule is public. Are you telling me that the governor of West Virginia has to hide his schedule when most of West Virginia's schedules are public?
Well, I think it's more so his Charleston office is probably only doing part of his schedule,
right?
And then he's getting like a one way or another the appointments in taking that into like a personal calendar,
right?
And so I would say there's some things that are on that giant personal calendar that are very, very personal and have nothing to do with being governor of West Virginia. But I'd say there's also some things on there that would add to what he's doing as governor of West Virginia, in addition to what is officially scheduled through Charleston.
Right.
And I think this is probably one of those cases where having improperly kept his calendar, it's like, oh, we don't want to share that.
Right.
Oh, we don't want to share that. Well, there's that too. He probably doesn't want people seeing how much he's focusing on non-governor meetings and work. Right. Part of it is probably that. Part of it is also like, no, that shouldn't be released like if he's done what I think he's done, which is he's running his own personal calendar, probably through like his office at the Greenbrier,
Right.
which would make the most sense.
Right.
And I'm calling it personal because in trying to separate it out, it's more of a work schedule versus a governor work schedule.
Right. But
let's just call
as governor, he's supposed to be in the office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, doing governor work, running the state. But
well, I mean, technically, not necessarily at the Capitol,
right.
Because there's a lot of things that he will have to go and do that are inevitably, not at the Capitol.
Right.
So he's not necessarily chained to his desk. That doesn't mean he's poorly performing if he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will I argue he's probably been the most absentee governor?
Yeah.
And probably has done the least.
Right.
No, I'm not going to argue against that. I'm just saying that, like, he's probably gotten himself in a situation where his calendar that is and should be a public record is incomplete.
Right.
And it's going to be one of those, like, it will take forever to sluice back out what he did.
Right. But see,
as
what he
governor
did is public record.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It has to be public record. It actually has to go into the archives.
Or Brenda has a better thought. He probably doesn't know what he's done. Better ask Baby Dog what's going on.
Exactly, because Baby Dog probably has a better idea.
I'm sure she has a better calendar.
Yeah. He needs to watch Psychic That Plans and get some planning tips.
That's a theory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Shannon forgot to share. My kid has been sleepwalking, the eldest one. First night she went on an adventure in D&D world. I'll give the long version later. Last night was math with Dolly Parton.
Ah.
All right.
Very cool.
Oh, math with Dolly Parton. If Dolly Parton has 2,000 wigs, how many more wigs does Dolly Parton need for a show?
7. For a full tour, Dolly should have 52 wigs en route.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Brenda says, that would be the most fun math class ever. I don't disagree.
I think it would be very interesting because she is known for her money skills.
Mm-hmm. I'd definitely take her finance class.
Yes.
Like I would take that.
Right.
Yeah.
Her finance class. I would lovely take her publicity class.
Econ with Dolly.
Yeah.
I could do econ with Dolly.
Yeah. I mean, because she goes from nothing to, I don't know, just going, they need money for this drug, not a problem. Write them a damn check. Carl, write them a check.
Yeah, and it's not just that she went from, like, flat broke or pretty much. I mean, at no point before her, music career was she ever, like, super well income.
Right.
And then her music career. But not only has she gone from that to, like, being rich, which we see a lot of celebrities do, but, like, it's just kept growing. It's like, has Dolly ever lost money? Does anyone know? Has Dolly ever made less year over year? I'm sure. This is going to be bad, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm pretty sure that damn bitch managed to make growth in the panini. Somehow. She's just magically. Like 10% growth straight through the panini.
Right. All right, so we're going to net worth. She is currently worth $666 million according to music industry.
Aren't some of her fans going to have a moment with that one? 666 million?
663 million.
Oh,
She spent
663.
some money during
Dolly,
the panini.
stop earning or earn faster. One of the two. You hit 6666,
Uh-huh.
you're going to have a problem. Some of your fan base is going to freak the hell out.
Ooh, interesting. Dolly earns 8 cents every time her song is played on radio and $2 for every album sale.
Aww.
Not only does she earn royalties on her solo hits, but also collaborations with other artists. In the 60s, for example, she earned a cool $10 million from her collaboration with Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You.
Mm-hmm.
With a library of over 41 country music items, Dolly Parton receives a healthy amount of royalties every year. A lot of those royalties come from Spotify, where her average more than 14 million listens a month.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 30 days, now this was a while ago, in the last 30 days time of writing this, she has earned $14,219,436 off of Spotify, assuming she makes $3 for every 1,000 streams.
Some of y'all are out there just listening to her 1,000 times a month anyway.
Right, but she's making money on it.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. She has her acting career, which she's made about 103 million from. Her real estate, she has invested part of her income into real estate. The most notable is Dollywood Amusement Park. It was opened for her in her hometown, Tennessee. Attempt to give back to the community. Dolly partnered with Harris Family Entertainment, transferred the old Silver Dollar City into an amusement park, creating spaces for locals could visit and relax. So 75% of Silver Dollar City seasons in previous years, and today Dollywood is the most visited park in Tennessee. That includes the Great Smokies and attracts 3 million visitors a year, about 40 million annually, with a 50% with 50% stake in Dollywood. Parton earns a sizable income from the park. Besides that, Parton has acquired established hotels, amusement parks. She is also the co-owner of Splash Country Water, where she establishes worth of $20 million, dinner theater, and 8 restaurants, as well as Dreammore Resorts and Spa for $15 million. All right, and it just goes on down her balance sheet, guys. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't not make money.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is she was probably she probably turned a profit and had positive growth through the panini.
Right.
When everyone else was like losing money and had reduced, and you would think if Dollywood, because Dollywood did shut down,
Right.
if I remember correctly, you'd expect she would have taken a hit.
Right.
I doubt she did. I highly doubt it. I think it might have been smaller growth, but I'm going to say she still went more positive.
I think she went more positive because people were at home listening to more music.
I know. That's kind of where I'm at. And a lot of people finally got to work from home and listen to whatever the hell they wanted to.
Exactly.
And, it wasn't the shared office radio situation.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that hates that. Trying to get 5, 10, 20 people to all agree what station. Ugh. Anyway.
She opened a new resort during this time. Dolly Parton's home is 400,000 in Brentwood, Nashville, with her husband Carl Dean. The property is worth way more than that. Than the buying price she also bought 2 decades ago. The singer unveiled more of the property luxury spaces, which features a farm, tennis courts, chapel, music room, and swimming pool. The kitchen and living room bedroom features modern appliances and high-end decor. Oh, and she's got in other properties, malls, homes. Like you could be renting from Dolly.
Yes.
If you live in Tennessee, San Francisco, LA. Apparently she buys neighborhoods wherever she likes them.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like learning that Warren Buffett is apparently the trailer park king.
Right.
You know, like, sorry, it was one of those things. I knew Warren Buffett was rich. I'd never taken time, and I knew it had to do with Berkshire Hathaway.
Uh-huh.
I had no clue until recently what the hell Berkshire Hathaway did. I just assumed it was investments.
It is.
Just investments. Like a mixed portfolio. No, no. If you have a mobile home of any sort within about, I think it's like 90 percentile,
Mm-hmm.
it was financed and money went into Warren Buffett's pocket.
Yep.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, he owns the companies that manufacture, like Clayton Homes and whatever the other one is, the two biggest. Like, he's got you coming and going if you go mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy hell.
Yeah. Well, he invests in a lot of different things.
Well, yeah, but most of his money.
Right.
Like, no joke, most of his money has to do with trailer parks.
Yeah.
And any form of you live in a mobile home.
Right.
Any of it. I'm like, what the hell?
Right. Yeah, so it's weird. I think Dolly is very well invested. She's very smart. Of course, she's made about $3 million off of a song.
Okay.
And that song being Dumb Blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And that song being about someone, connected to Elvis Presley, thinking that, he would pull one over on her.
Ah. Well, I think that also has to do with everyone treated her that way for a while.
Right.
That, like, oh, you can't be smart.
Right.
Like, and it's like, ha, she showed you.
Right.
Guess you should have checked her grades in high school before you said anything.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, was Dolly a good student?
Like,
Like, I just kind of assume, like, or is she in that, like, school was like garbage, but life was easy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she got all the life skills.
And I know she's gotten other degrees after making her career.
Like, I'm just curious. I don't know a whole lot about Dolly.
I think she has a cosmetology degree.
Let's see. I'm looking. Music career, other ventures. So I'm trying to look back. Country music success. Okay, so she graduated from Sevier County High School in '64, moved to Nashville the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Her initial success came as a songwriter, having signed with Combine Publishing shortly after her arrival. Then there's her music career. I don't think so, unless she got an honorary degree, but otherwise,
Okay.
I'm not seeing, like, it's not in her Wikipedia.
Right.
Like,
Is Carl in her Wikipedia?
I'm sure he is.
Debatable. Like, he is the original OG or original Invisible.
Well, I mean, he's listed
Okay.
as a spouse. He's not a link.
Right.
there's no link. But yeah. But she has a very large, huge Wikipedia page.
Right.
Just so y'all know. Like,
Yeah.
seriously. Oh, but no. But yeah, it looks like all, like, anything under awards is for, like, as in her work, not anything about, like, her education.
Right.
But so that's what I'm saying, is it looks like she's graduated from Sevier County High School.
Yep.
Yeah, Sevier County High School in '64.
Yep.
I'm assuming she had some good grades.
Oh yeah. You know, and her daddy taught her how to do business because, you know, he was a farmer. He had to figure out how many pigs he needed to raise a year before he needed to sell them.
Well, and I'm sure in a family that big, because, how many was it? Because
9.
yeah, yeah. You have to do some math to cook dinner. A lot of math.
Right. All right, so let's take a break and we'll come back. Let's talk about the Oregon Senate. It's quite interesting.
Okay.
Hi, this is Sandy Starr. I'm a psychic and I work on Keen, and I have been working on Keen for over 22 years. You can reach me on 01068. I deal with a myriad of subjects, but I do specialize in relationships, marriages, divorces, is he cheating, is she cheating, whatever the dynamic of the relationship is, I will guide you through. I've got amazing radar for cheaters, so I will tell you the truth if he or she is cheating. I can help with any subject you need me to help you with besides relationships, and I look forward to hearing from you. Again, you can reach me through Keen. My extension number is 01068. I really look forward to hearing from you and helping you with whatever you need me to help you with.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I'm a psychic medium and I work with tarot cards. I also practice Reiki and access bars. I would like to share with you what a reading with me is like. It is a blended reading of psychic and mediumship, and I deliver these messages exactly as they come through. I'm not going to mince words or add any padding. I am a professional, reliable, and honest communicator. I have readings available anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. You can book a reading with me at tracyvan.com. That's TracyVann.com. And no, I'll always tell you exactly what you need to hear.
Hey everybody, Natalie here from The Pendulum's Path. If you are in need of guidance, direction, spiritual connection, healing, or more, you have come to the right place. I have worked as a psychic and a medium for over 3 years, connecting people from all over the world with their loved ones, giving them insight and guidance into their current situations, their past healings, their blockages, and what they need to know in order for them to have a better future. It would be my absolute honor if you would come to my website at www.thependulumspath.com. Visit my shop. I have a whole bunch of crystals, oils, balms, mystery boxes, and more. And visit my services. I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute sessions. I also have email readings available if you're not comfortable with the one-on-one session with me, or if you just want to try me out. I encourage you to come visit me at the Pendulum's Path, and let's get you back on the right track today.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here from Rowan Temple of Light, and I'm here to tell you about our events this summer. First up is Beltane in the Hills, May 13th, and that is from 1 to 6. We have entertainment, we have a bunch of vendors, we have a fairy photo shoot. It's going to be exciting. You having any questions, reach out to Earth Magic or to myself. After that, we have Central West Virginia Pagan Pride, August 19th. That's at Holly Gray Park from 11 to 5 for the day. And we will have Sarah Masters coming down from Pittsburgh to be our keynote speaker. We have some great classes for that. So if you want to get involved, reach out to Rowan Temple of Light at Gmail, or just follow us along on Facebook at Rowan Temple of Light, and we look forward to seeing you out in the community. See you there.
Right, welcome back. All right, so let's dig into this Oregon. The Oregon Senate's at it again.
Yeah, so AP again, boycotting Oregon GOP senators vow to stay away until last day of session. Republican senators whose walkout of the Oregon Senate has prevented a quorum for almost 3 weeks said Tuesday they're not coming back until the very last day of the legislative session next month. The walkout, which began on May 3rd, ostensibly because bill summaries weren't written at an 8th grade level as required by a long-forgotten law, has derailed progress on hundreds of bills, including a sweeping measure on abortion rights and gender-affirming care that the conservatives particularly object to. An email from Republican leader Senator Tim Knopp's office said the Republicans and Independent Senator Brian Boquist would return on June 25th, the end of the legislative session, to pass bipartisan budgets and bills. We are the last line of defense to hold the majority accountable, Knopp said. The crisis in Oregon State House is a microcosm of deeply partisan politics playing out nationwide, including recently in Tennessee and Montana. Republicans have boycotted in 2019, 2020, and 21. This year's standoff, however, has disqualified 9 Republican senators and 1 independent from serving as lawmakers in the next term under a ballot measure approved overwhelmingly by boycott-weary voters last November. After 10 or more unexcused absences, a lawmaker can't take office in the legislature even if the Secretary of State's Elections Division allows them on the ballot and they win. The boycotters are expected to challenge the constitutional amendment in court. Senate President Robert Wagner carried out a roll call again on Tuesday, and again he was 2 members short of reaching the 20 needed for a quorum of the 30-member Senate. Oregon is one of a few states that require at least 2/3 to be present instead of a simple majority. All the Democrats showed up except 1 who has an excused absence for health reasons, and only 2 of the minority Republicans appeared. Senate Democrats will be here doing our jobs, ready to pass the budget and act on urgent Oregon priorities today, tomorrow, and every day until session ends, said Senate Majority Leader Kate Lieber. Absent Republican senators are welcome to end this unconstitutional walkout and make government work for the people of Oregon. Democratic Governor Tina Kotek has signed a bill to keep funds flowing to state agencies until September if no budget has become law by July 1st, and said she doesn't think the state is in crisis mode yet. Oh, Oregon. I'm glad to see the ballot measure.
Right. I think the next one needs to be that they are immediately replaced after 10. Get 10 excused absences, and then whoever you lost your seat to takes your seat.
Yeah. Granted, I'd love to see this at the federal level.
Yes. I would love to see it at the federal level. The number of times that we pay senators to be senators and they do not show up for office because they're in Cancun, other states facing an electric crisis.
Oh, yeah. Now, I did want to pop out because they did have a link regarding the what started all this, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is from the AP again. Hard to read. Oregon GOP boycott comes down to reading level.
Right.
So Republicans blocking votes on bills about abortion, gun control, and gender-affirming healthcare in Oregon this week have based their boycott on an obscure 44-year-old state law that requires bill summaries to be written at the reading level of an 8th or ninth grader. GOP leadership says their walkout, which marked its third day on Friday, this is from May 5th, just, skew the dates,
Right.
is about every bill, but the two bills that would expand protections for abortions and transgender health care and place more limitations on gun ownership, quote, specifically didn't qualify under the 1979 law. Democrats say Republicans didn't take issue with the writing style of bipartisan bills they backed earlier in the session until hot button issues were on the table. The fate of the contested bills is now unclear. Republicans have staged walkouts before, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I was looking to see. Oh, the 1979 law that Republicans are justifying their stay away with specifically requires bill summaries to have an 8th or ninth grade reading level measured by a score of at least 60 on something called the Fleisch readability test. It's unclear if it was ever followed or consulted for past bill summaries, but a Republican Senate employee recently dug it out the Capitol archives.
8th grade. 8th grade
More,
reading level.
more importantly, no one's even sure they ever did this.
Right.
Like it's a random law someone passed, or that 40 some years ago they passed.
Right.
And no one knows if they ever actually followed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden,
Right.
we're gonna use that to justify
Right.
grinding the entire legislature to a halt.
They're doing anything they can to grind and not do their job. All right. Now I'm going to give some warnings. We're going a little darker.
Yes.
Well, if I can find the news story that we can read, because I'm not paying for it.
I know, right? Oh, so I assume that was about the independent one?
Yeah, it's what the independent does. Yes, we're going there, and then I've got one I haven't posted yet. I'm trying to find a real source.
Okay, well, it actually came up for me.
Right. Go for that one.
All right. No, well, I mean, the independent article you sent me. It's
right. That's one of them.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. A U-Haul truck, a Nazi flag, and threats to kill the president. What we know about the White House crash. So the incident will no doubt be setting off alarm bells around Capitol Hill, coming at a time when lawmakers and government officials have faced growing threats, and just 2 years after Donald Trump supporters succeeded in storming the U.S. Capitol in the January 6th riot. It was a balmy spring night in Washington, D.C. when a U-Haul truck suddenly slammed into security gates close to the White House. The driver, who was allegedly carrying a Nazi flag, then made threatening statements about the building that Joe Biden calls home. Now the male suspect, 19-year-old Sai Varshit Kandula, has been arrested on charges of threatening to kill or harm the president, Vice President Kamala Harris, or one of their family members. The details so far remain scant, with the driver's possible motive and plans still unclear. But what we do know about the incident will no doubt set off alarm bells around Capitol Hill, coming at a time when lawmakers and government officials have faced growing threats, and just 2 years after Donald Trump supporters succeeded in storming the U.S. Capitol in the January 6th riot. Here's what we know so far. The incident unfolded around 9:40 p.m. on Monday night when the white U-Haul box truck crashed into security barriers on the north side of Lafayette Square on 16th Street, U.S. Park Police said. The crash took place just a few hundred feet away from the White House, where Mr. Biden had been holding talks with Senate Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy just hours earlier. U.S. Park Police and U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division officers responded to the scene to find a truck that is believed to have been intentionally crashed in the bollards outside Lafayette Park. A video posted by eyewitness Chris Zaboji appears to show the truck driving into the barricades once and then driving into them a second time. Mr. Zaboji, an airline pilot living in Washington, said he was walking home after jogging on the National Mall when he heard a loud crash. He pulled out his phone to capture what was going on. I looked back and saw the U-Haul van had rammed into the barricade. I backed away behind a guy on a golf cart and took the video on my phone, he told Reuters. After I saw it rammed again, I didn't want to be anywhere near the truck and left. So a police source told NBC News that the driver made threatening statements about the White House at the scene, but was quickly detained by law enforcement. Inside the truck, police also found a Nazi flag. The flag was seen in photos captured by a Reuters photojournalist on the ground next to the truck. Following a search of the truck, officials found it contained no weapons or explosives. I want to repeat, no weapons or explosives. There were no injuries in the crash, and there is no ongoing danger to the public, officials said. There were no injuries to any Secret Service or White House personnel, and the cause and manner of the crash remain under investigation, said Anthony Guglielmi, the Secret Service Chief of Communications, in a statement on Monday night.
The suspect, U.S. Parks Police released the identity of the driver. We're not going to try to pronounce that name. 19 of Chesterfield, Mississippi. The motive remains unknown at the time, but the Park Police spokesman, Thomas Twidnam, said in a statement that he had been arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, and threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on the president, vice president, or family member, destruction of federal property, and trespassing. The tweet said the preliminary investigations indicate that the driver intentionally crashed into the security barriers. Threats against the office. It is not clear if the president and first lady were home at the time of the incident, which comes amidst a potential threat against politicians. Data from Capitol Police revealed that the agency has investigated over 7,500 cases of potential threats against members of Congress in 2022. While it's lower than the 96,000 threats recorded in 2021, it was twice as many in 2027. In October, the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, National Counterintelligence, and the United States Capitol Police sent a joint intelligence briefing to law enforcement partners across the country, warning of a rise in domestic violence extremists, DVE, and precautions of electoral fraud could lead to a spike in violence. Really, a spike in violence.
Mm-hmm.
In October, among the most targeted extremists are lawmakers, government offices, and personnel involved in elections, including both political candidates and election workers, it warns. Potential targets of DVE violence include candidates running for public office, elected officials, election workers, political rallies, and political party representatives, radical and religious minorities, and previously ideological opponents, the bulletin read.
Uh-huh.
They were warned. They have been warned. The same day, October 22, the husband of the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, was a victim of a violent Heimer attack at the couple's home in California. A hemp jewelry maker alleged broke into the couple's home in the early hours of the morning, searching for Miss Pelosi. Miss Pelosi's husband, Paul, 82, was home alone with his wife away in Washington, D.C. doing her job, Oregon. You might want to take a note. Struck him in the head with a hammer when officers arrived. It's over a year since the January 6 riots. Chilling footage from the day reveals how some rioters hunted for Miss Pelosi, chanting, "Where's Nancy?" as they ransacked her office, and others seen chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," after the vice president refused to attempt to overthrow the election in Mr. Trump's favor and manage a coup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. When did we get, like, I mean, sorry, let me Joe Talks take two. I know there's going to be a certain number of just pure accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be moments of stupid.
Right.
And then there's going to be actual attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what this one very much looks like. Because if you have an empty U-Haul truck and you not only hit the barricades once but twice, that really points strongly out of the category of oops.
That puts strongly to dry run.
Well, at least a dry run, if not an actual attempt.
Right.
To break through security, and because I'm assuming at this point the U-Haul was just literally meant to be a bulldozer for the barricades, and so that you could get in.
Right.
And then after that, whatever that person planned was whatever they planned.
Right.
But I also see your point is if it were a dry run or meant to weaken security, or to at least test what the security could handle,
right,
and what their response time was,
right,
that's also another part of this.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Capitol Police, I'd be stepping it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's sad. We've had to really barricade the White House.
Yeah. We've had to arm our own house. That is sad.
Well, what I mean, though, is there was once upon a time, I don't even think there was a fence.
Right.
Like, you could just walk up.
Walk in.
Like, because there was this general theory that we had enough respect not to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, 5 o'clock in the evening, you're not just going to walk up, knock on the White House window, and be like, hey, hi, how's it going? Like, you know. In addition to, we hadn't even gotten to the idea that you were going to do nefarious things to a president.
Up until 1801, literally, there was no fence. Yeah. It first started as a wooden post and rail fence in 1801. The fence around the White House has evolved with the changing landscapes of Washington and the security needs of the first family. President Thomas Jefferson ordered the construction of a wooden post and rail fence around the White House.
And that was probably to keep, like, pets in or White House animals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and then it has evolved into actual security.
Right.
So, yeah, that's...
Well, it's probably to keep the poodle
in. Wood post and rail is not going to keep a poodle anywhere.
Well.
What? No, they're talking about, like, the big wood post, and then you do, like, the X.
No, what they're talking about is the white picket fence.
Oh, okay, or that.
Right.
Oh, God, how many pickets would that be?
A lot.
Jesus. Sorry, I just envisioned it, like 1-inch pickets, like 2 inches apart.
Well, it's then like... in 1818, 1819, a new spectacular driveway marked by 8 stone pillars, an iron fence and gate was built across the north front of the White House. Again, we're not seeing heavy security. We're seeing keeping in style.
Well, yeah, and like an element of security being added. But still, it wasn't, heavily, like, it was not strongly fortified against just the general public.
Right.
Like, don't drive a vehicle in. Don't, enter without, in a vehicle or a conveyance without admission. Like, hell, that could just be called traffic control.
Right. Okay, so the south and the north gates were closed in 1923 through 1929. 1935, Frederick's Law Ordon Jr. submitted his report on the White House grounds to President Franklin Roosevelt, the plan became the template for improving and working the foundations by National Park Services and affirmed a policy of restricting public access to the grounds. So we're looking at 1935 is when they started closing off the White House. Think about that. Less than 100 years ago, you could literally walk up, knock on the door, and have a conversation with the president.
And I'm almost thinking it was either George W. Bush or Obama's presidency. I cannot remember which. In which they scaled up the size of the fence.
Yeah, that was in 2001 after the terrorist attack on September 11th.
And even with, so even with that, because I couldn't remember if it was just oh my God, someone scaled the bigger fence, or if that's why there was a bigger fence.
Right.
Was because someone scaled the fence under Obama and made a run towards the White House.
Right. No, that was 1988. A thick 38-inch high concrete board.
So that's George H.W.
No, it's Clinton.
In 80? 88? No, that should be George Bush. First George Bush.
All right, in 1995, President Bill Clinton closed Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House to all vehicle traffic, a security response to the Oklahoma City bombing. So that was in 95.
Like we keep pushing the border, like the buffer between the White House and D.C., the rest of D.C., further away from the White House. It's kind of scary.
And in 2016 is when the Commissions of Fine Arts approved the concept for a new White House fence proposed by the National Park Service and United States Secret Security. The proposed fence will be taller, stronger, and equipped with anti-climbing and instructional deterrent components. Is the last thing allowed. It was, so 2016 was the last recorded thing that's publicly known. We all know that, like literally they don't tell you about something until it's already done and it's been replaced.
Right. Well, it's sort of like the presidential limo. That like I remember under Obama, like I think it was Time magazine did a feature piece on all the security, all the security they could talk about in the presidential limo. And I was like, how does it move? Like, oh my God. Like, it's basically a giant lead tank that looks pretty. I was like, how does it move? My God. Like, what's the gas mileage on it? 2 miles per gallon?
It's got to have a diesel engine, that's for sure.
Like, it's huge. Like, because it doesn't look that bulky, so I give people credit. For the design that allows it to look mostly like a normal limo. Like, there's a few things you'll catch every once in a while, like, God, that door's big. But otherwise.
Very much so. I mean, but, every one of them keeps going up.
Yeah, it's got 5-inch bulletproof glass. Like, how do you find a motor to move the glass? Or is it just, that's it? It's there. Anyway, sorry, things that always, like, got me.
It's just weird. It's just weird that we vote and hire these people and then we have to almost put them in steel bunkers to do their job.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the security features, just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this has got a copyright actually from the Daily Mail.
Right.
So the fuel tank is armor plated and filled with a specially designed foam which prevents it from exploding even if it suffers a direct hit. The trunk holds an oxygen supply and a firefighting system. The rear compartment seats President and up to 4 passengers with glass partition. Only, and this was during Obama, only Obama has a switch to lower it. Panic button is installed. Doors armor plated 8 inches thick and the weight of a cabin door on a Boeing 757.
Mm-hmm.
Chauffeur trained by the U.S. Secret Service coped with the most demanding of driving conditions, including escape and evasion and a 180-degree J-turn.
Mm-hmm.
Driver's window can withstand armor-piercing bullets in a .44 Magnum. It's the only window that will open by just 3 inches, so the driver can pay a toll or talk. Okay, so only the driver's window moves.
Right.
Yeah, so they can pay tolls and talk with Secret Service agents running alongside. Bodywork, military grade
Hold on.
armor.
Back up. Pay tolls?
Yes.
The president pays tolls, but Jim Justice doesn't.
Hey, you know.
That's scary, but anyhow.
All right, so bodywork, military grade armor at least 5 inches thick, combination of dual hardness steel, aluminum, titanium, and ceramic to break up potential projectiles. The driver's compartment, standard steering wheel, but dashboard contains a communication center and GPS tracking systems.
Mm-hmm.
Tires are run flat tires reinforced with Kevlar, shred and puncture resistant with steel rims underneath, enabling the car to escape even if tire blasted away.
Mm-hmm.
Defense accessories, equipped with night vision cameras and pump action shotguns, also armed with tear gas cannons, bottles of the president's blood kept on board in case he needs an emergency transfusion.
Mm-hmm.
Chassis, reinforced inch steel plate runs under the car to protect against bombs or grenades rolled underneath. And then in the rear seat, Obama's seat has a state-of-the-art satellite phone and direct line to the vice president and the Pentagon. Good God. Like, yeah.
Right.
It's a tank.
Yeah.
That looks pretty and has glass.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Brenda wants to know. Is
No.
that Aeson's next ride?
No. Aeson wants small, flexible, and quick.
Welcome back, Brenda. That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
no.
No.
And I mean, it's a Cadillac.
Yeah, it's a caddy. Of course it's a caddy. It's the only thing that can handle it.
I do want to know, like, I have one last question on the presidential limo.
Okay.
Oh, it is. It's a 6.5 liter Duramax diesel engine that produces a humble 214 horsepower. The engine is similar to those seen in heavy-duty pickup trucks made by GMC and Chevy. Its maximum speed is only about 62 miles per hour, and acceleration is poor.
I'd say so.
I'm sorry. Our president is getting chauffeured around in something with a 6.5 liter Duramax diesel engine.
Yeah.
And the car, the rest of the vehicle, is so damn heavy that not only is its top speed 62 miles per hour, they're not outrunning shit.
Right.
And it's also heavy and lumbersome. It's going to drive like a shitty car from the 90s.
Right.
With like dirty fuel injectors. Oh my God. It really is for looks.
Yeah.
Brenda has got your number. Aeson
Oh.
would never drive anything that slow.
Exactly.
Loving it. Loving it.
No. Aeson likes speed. Aeson has always loved speed.
Couldn't they have gotten a bigger diesel in it?
No, they can't because of the fuel consumption.
Oh, God. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry. I just want our president to be able to do 100 miles an hour.
I think that he can do 100 miles an hour. I think that they are publicizing the less, notable things. And granted, this is now 2 presidents behind.
No, it's the same limo.
No, I do believe they have upgraded the beast.
Have they? Joe Biden's limo, nicknamed the Beast, is stocked with security features. Oh, that is a different limo.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Yeah, debut in September 2018 in New York City for the United Nations General Assembly. The new Beast, the name has been around since 2001, is designed to look like a Cadillac CT6, like previous presidential limos, which is where the Cadillac One nickname comes from. However, the chassis Duramax diesel engine, which turns out 214 horsepower, and transmission on the Beast all come from General Motors heavy-duty vehicles.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same limo.
Right.
No, it is the same limo. Sorry, why did the... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same limo.
Uh-huh. We will see.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break so I can take care of a 3-year-old before I lose it on him.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll be, asking, are you an asshole?
All right.
Hi, this is Sandy Starr. I'm a psychic and I work on Keen, and I have been working on Keen for over 22 years.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here from Rowan Temple of Light, and I'm here to tell you about our events this summer. First up is Beltane in the Hills, May 13th, and that is from 1 to 6. We have entertainment, we have a bunch of vendors, we have a fairy photo shoot. It's going to be exciting. You having any questions, reach out to Earth Magic or to myself. After that, we have Central West Virginia Pagan Pride, August 19th. That's at Holly Gray Park from 11 to 5 for the day. And we will have Sarah Masters coming down from Pittsburgh to be our keynote speaker. We have some great classes for that. So if you want to get involved, reach out to RowanTempleOfLight@gmail.com, or just follow us along on Facebook at Rowan Temple of Light, and we look forward to seeing you out in the community. See you there.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month, in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service, or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your most spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, If you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aesonknight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that Call Now button there on my site. It'll connect you to Keen, and if you've not been with Keen before, you'll get 3 free minutes to talk with me, so that's great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy. Bye, y'all.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvann.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. Let's just figure it out. Bye.
All right. Welcome back.
Yes.
Okay. So we do have an Are You the Asshole?
We do.
Yeah.
Ready for it?
Yeah, I'll get the poll ready. You dig in. Let's hear you plead the case.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my boyfriend's food after he ruined my food photos? I have an Instagram account dedicated to photos and short videos of food from local restaurants in my city. I don't turn meals into a whole photo shoot production when I go out, but I like to snap a few photos of everything as it comes out. I've got about 1,000 followers. It's just a hobby for me, but I have made friends and some other bloggers, with some other bloggers, and we like to go out and get pics together and try new restaurants. I prefer doing this with my foodie girls because my boyfriend hates it and will go out of his way to take a big bite of food or mess up his plate with his fork before I can snap any pics. And he rolls his eyes when I take pics of my own food, so I pretty much stopped bothering when we went out together. Money has been tight lately because of some medical bills, so I haven't been able to go out to eat with my foodie girls, and the infrequent date with my boyfriend is the only chance I get to eat out. I had to sit him down and have a look, just let me enjoy things conversation with him, and told him I was going to take pics of my own food when we went out, and could he please just not be immature about it? And since we alternate who pays for dates, I told him I would appreciate it if he could spare the 30 seconds for me to snap a pic of the appetizer and his meal on nights that I was paying, and I got a sort of half-hearted do whatever you want confirmation. Sunday was my turn to pay, and he let me take a pic of the appetizer with minimal fussing. But then, when the entrees came out, I went to snap a pic of his, and he messed it up with his fork. Then he reached over and stirred up my pasta to also ruin the photo of my own meal. I was so pissed off by that I refused to pay his half at the end of the meal, which pissed him off because he said he wouldn't have ordered a cocktail if he knew that I was going to skip my turn. He says I owe him one because I don't get to just decide not to pay according to our agreement after we've already ordered.
Dude, you did right. Don't pay for his food.
Here's this. I totally think not the asshole. Let me just get that out of the way. What the hell is this dude's problem? That's what I can't figure out. Like, what is your problem? Like, are you just that controlling? Are you just that what? What are you that you're doing this?
Well, he's doing it because he doesn't want to support her becoming an influencer, doesn't want her to do anything direct, doesn't want, wants to be an ass, and it isn't his passion, so why should he be bothered?
I mean, like, this is pretty low level. Like, I understand some people are embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like, when, like, you go out, and this was probably more common about a decade ago, people started getting embarrassed that, like, the food came out and all the phones came out and started taking pictures, and it was just a thing.
Right.
Haven't we moved past?
I don't know. I mean, I still get a great response when I post dinner. Do you have a problem with it?
I don't have a problem with it. I usually take the photos.
Yeah.
So Brenda says maybe he feels like she's not really there with him. Now, I can almost start to get behind that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when we first got together and it's been relaxed, I gave up. Not, and I shouldn't have said that as, like, fed up as I sounded. I just mean it quit being reasonable. Like, I had a high idea and it was like, yeah, then there's reality.
Mm-hmm.
But originally I had this very big thing about no phones at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can talk to whoever you want, do whatever you want up until we sit down to eat. And then I just need 10 minutes and you reasonably put food in your mouth and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick your phone up and leave the table. I'm good with that.
Right.
That wasn't really doable for us because it seemed like no matter what, every time we sat down to eat, someone messaged. And it was easier to just, like, take the 5 seconds to take care of it than to, like, sit there and just, like, the whole meal go, oh God, what's going on? What happened? What's the deal? What's the problem? What's the issue?
Yeah.
I say that because fundamentally I'm getting what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not what I asked for.
Right.
Like, I asked for no phones at the table. And when I said that, what I really wanted and what I should have more specifically said,
right,
is no, like, social distancing via cell phone at the table. Like, I don't want to sit here and stare at the top of someone's head while they peer down at their phone for an entire hour.
Right.
Like, that I have problems with.
Well, and you do. And, I took that into account. But I told you, some things are content. Mm-hmm. You know when there's content.
Yeah, and I have no problem with, like, the photos. Like,
yeah.
Again, I'm with Brenda. I don't see a problem with her taking pics of the food as long as she gives them couple time. Also, like, it's a big difference between, are you just taking photos of the food and video of the food, whatever you're doing, like, in that initial few seconds, or are you severely underestimating how much time you're spending? And, like, you take the photo, edit the photo, upload the photo with commentary, and you think that takes like 30 seconds. When really it's more like half the meal.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that being that, and I've done that literally there at the table, it doesn't take more than a minute and a half, especially if we're out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then again, like, we're posting in because usually everything goes to the break room.
Well,
some of it goes.
Stuff. Some of it goes to Instagram because that's normally where I post food pics at because everyone likes seeing what I cook. But that's even before you get your plate.
Yeah, usually we'll plate it. Like, yeah, we'll plate it, set it over to the side, snap a quick picture. Like, if I do it, I snap a quick picture, I send it to you in our Facebook Messenger group, and then we go eat.
Right.
I do. I like whatever you do. I'm not paying attention. I have food in front of me.
Right.
So you have a good 5 minutes before I give a shit.
Exactly.
What you're doing. Because that's not talkie time, that's ED time. And if you want to waste yours, like, you go right ahead.
Right.
Oh, Brenda's like, I really need to start checking Instagram.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We don't do it all the time either.
Yeah, it's not a daily thing. It's when I cook something impressive. Now we are, I think even, we are going to have a video out the next time I bulk cook. There will be a video of the bulk cook and how that works because we've gotten a lot of interest in it.
So, like, what I really need to be doing if I were him would be rolling my eyes as you say that, and then planning to, like, chop up your meatloaf.
Right.
And, like, destroy everything you've done.
Right. That's
before we can.
bullshit that she's doing. It's like, if we're in an event, you just sit there at my table.
Oh my God, Shannon may be the only woman I can just hand my phone to and let her free scroll my gallery. Because she checks out hot guys on there, and sometimes Aeson food comes across the street. Fair enough. Oh, fair enough. LOL, Shannon. I really need to start checking Instagram then. Yeah, Instagram will let you get away with some stuff. I was surprised.
Right.
Like, as long as it's not full frontal, they do care.
It depends on how it's presented.
Well, some people do get in trouble every once in a while, but for the majority, I've seen stuff pop up on Instagram. I was like, holy shit, that's allowed on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not, no, what?
Yeah. If it's Cinemax level, it can go to Instagram.
Yeah. Old Cinemax.
Right.
Not new Cinemax.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where Cinemax is on the is it porn or not scale, but I know HBO's gotten to a point. It's practically porn.
Right.
Like, I'm just saying, I don't know how bad Cinemax has gotten.
Right.
But
yeah, no, he's a dick move. And that's really why, for a while there, we did not, you were not at events, and it wasn't because you were a dick. Let me make that clear. It was more so because I'm used to this, like, boyfriends coming and sitting down at the table. And it's like, no, this ain't your place. Go enjoy the event. Come back when I have a line.
Do what?
Like you coming and sitting down at the table, at the reading table, or whatever, and just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't really want to take you.
Oh, you were afraid I would do that?
Yeah.
No. No, I like rarely. Like, it's got to be either really slow, pre-event,
right,
post-event,
right,
or like we're staging a photo and it's easier to use me.
Yes.
Or you're literally, and part of the really slow is sometimes because there's kind of an old business theory is if you already have a customer,
yeah,
you can generate interest because people like to follow the crowd.
Right.
So yeah, there are times that if an event's going really slow, Joe will get a reading.
Right.
Because it tends to precipitate other people having interest. Like there's a weird thing. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like some events are almost like, I don't want to call it cursed, but jinxed maybe. Is that if you don't get like a customer within the first like 10 minutes,
right,
you can go like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. Oh, so Brenda says Joe wouldn't sit at the table. You might read him. Oh, so Shannon's giving out handles for Instagram, y'all. you can jump over to YouTube. Which account is that, Shannon?
She's on Aeson.
Oh, she's on Aeson Knight. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you want to know where the pretty boys are, Shannon has included a couple of places to look.
Right.
So yeah. Brenda will be checking it out.
Yep. All right. So the poll is up. Be sure to vote if you think that they're an asshole or not.
Absolutely. All right. So let's see.
Here comes your relationship advice.
Awesome. I was about to say, do we have one?
Yes. Well, we have a relationship situation to delve into.
Oh, okay. Well, not as long as the last one. Thank God.
It's kind of hard. Thank you very much.
Do what now?
It's kind of hard. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. So it's still difficult. All right. So my husband, 29 male, is hiding prescription medication from me, 29 female. Hi, everyone. This is my first post, so I'm sorry if I don't get the formatting quite right. I'll try my best. My husband and I have been together for 13 years, married for 7. We have 2 beautiful children, a son aged 8 and a daughter aged 3. In every way of the word, he is my soulmate. We make each other so happy, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to share my life with. That being said, I can't help but feel that my husband has zero faith in me. In our junior year of high school, we broke up. He pursued another relationship while I partied it up, for a lack of a better term. I had an abusive stepdad and an alcoholic mother. It wasn't long before I found myself drinking excessively and eventually turning to drugs. After graduation, I developed an addiction to opiates. This was a very dark time for me. My husband and I started talking again. I promised to get clean in order to start the relationship with him. I relapsed many times. It was hard on both of us. Long story short, I cleaned up my act real quick when I found out we were expecting. Fast forward to now, my husband needs some teeth extracted. His doctor prescribed him diazepam, 3 pills each, 5 milligrams. We just picked up the prescription. On the car ride home, he asked me if I would be an asshole if he hid the pills on me. I was truthful and said if the doctor had prescribed him 50 pills, then yeah, maybe hide them. This is 3 pills. I'm not worried at all about relapsing. We get home and he immediately goes into our bedroom. I thought nothing of it at the time until he left to bring our son to baseball practice. I take our daughter into our room so I can do my evening workout, while also keeping an eye on her. I do this every night. She dropped one of her toys between our bed and the nightstand. I reached down to pick it up for her, and bam, there is the medicine bottle, wedged right in the crack. I am hurt and angry that my husband hid these pills from me. I feel as if he doesn't trust me or have faith in me. Honestly, I looked at this situation as a test for myself, a test I was planning on passing. He didn't even give me a chance to prove myself. I don't know how to get over this. I have been clean for 9 years. It'll be 10 in October. I know I'm an addict, but his lack of faith and trust hurts so much. I want to be understanding of his position, but I just can't. I don't want to be treated like an addict for the rest of my life, but I also know it is my fault. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking for from this post. Any insight from partners who are addicts or in a relationship with an addict? Thoughts? Thank you for any advice or insight you can give.
I feel he trusts you. Okay. I feel that he put the pills where he could get to them. I feel like, it shouldn't be an issue. They're his pills.
Fundamentally.
Yeah. Also, I think that it's horrifying, and I will say horrifying for this, that a man of his age does not have better hiding skills than a 16-year-old.
He was thwarted by a 3-year-old.
Exactly. He put them in the same place you put your porn mags when you're 16.
Oh, well, and technically, I'm with Brenda. She told him to.
Yeah.
And maybe he did have a little misunderstanding there.
Right.
But I do have to kind of argue her point
Right.
on one thing, and that's, but you are always going to be an addict.
Right.
Like that is unfortunately and horrifically part of who you are.
Right.
It is not the most important part. It is not the front and center part. You have put that in the rear view a good bit.
Right.
Like 9 years sober, that's
Right.
in the rear view. I could also think that, y'all's life is going pretty good. You have a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Right.
The worst thing that I'm sure he can imagine, especially since you did relapse a few times,
Mm-hmm.
is this idea
Mm-hmm.
that one day you might wake up and decide today's the day you go back.
Or the stressor hits. Or
Right.
whatever hits.
Yeah. Basically, whatever happens, happens. And today is the day.
Right.
And I can't imagine that would ever not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there's always going to be that little cloud, that little in the back of your head.
Right.
That's going to sit there, is that everything is great right now, and it could all go up in a ball of fire.
Right.
And it could be as easy as 3 stupid pills from a
It
dentist.
could be as easy as one stupid bad day, and you just need something to cut the edge. Why give you the choice? Why give you the choice?
Well, is that necessarily fair to you?
Right.
No. I'll say that. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like the people that treat alcoholics like, oh, you can't drink around them, you can't say anything about alcohol, you can't ever talk about alcohol.
Right.
Alcohol doesn't exist. I'm sorry, if you're an alcoholic, you have to live in a world where you damn well know
Right.
there's a bar on like every corner.
Right.
Every gas station you go into has a liquor section or at least a beer section.
Right.
Like every grocery store has a beer and liquor section.
Right.
You have to learn to navigate around that.
Yes.
And
you
just
have to learn to handle it.
Yeah. But I think you also have to learn that there's always going to be that in the back of his head, and anyone else that knew you then that still knows you now.
Right. And why would you want to impede your progress? Okay. Why would he want to do that? Why would he want to do that?
No, I don't think he's impeding her progress at all.
No. Why would he want to impede her progress?
Oh, as in like set it on the end table with a giant peen pills here.
Right. Like
flashing neon light.
Everyone knows I'm diabetic. Big woohoo. I got it managed beautifully. It'd be like going and keeping, Little Debbie stock, potato chip stock, all my critical foods stocked in the house to the cabinets full.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, yeah, no. And that was another part of our early relationship. We don't keep that crap in the house. I grew up with that crap in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah.
If that's what we're gonna do,
right,
you can do that alone. I'm not gonna sit here and watch you commit suicide.
Right.
Because that's all that is.
Right.
Because I almost, for many, not all, there are some that's not the case, but for many, I do see diabetes as being like a sugar addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really an accurate way to describe it per se, but I've seen some diabetics do some shit for a ho-ho.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right. But, we don't keep it in the house. Do we buy it? Yeah, we buy it. I'm not the only person in the house. Do we buy me something else most normally? Yeah.
But
But
if
we
you
don't
want a
keep-
ho-ho, you can have a ho-ho.
I get a ho-ho. But I buy a ho-ho, not a whole fucking box of ho-hos.
Oh, yeah, he buys a box of ho-hos. I'm looking over at him like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to have talk?
Right.
Like, because we're, like, no.
And
Like,
it actually
you-
created an issue in the house here recently with some macaroni and cheese.
Take it away.
All right. So, Joe has this lovely obsession with macaroni and cheese. We are
I do.
perfectly happy with his happy macaroni and cheese. It makes him happy. It's not one of my trigger foods. I'm not that happy.
Yeah, no, he doesn't really do macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really do anything for him. He doesn't get excited. For me, ever since I was a little kid, and it's kind of weird. So I had epilepsy as a kid, infantile seizures. They put me on phenobarbital. And for any of y'all who don't know, phenobarbital will like kill your appetite. Food has zero interest for you.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing my mom could get me to eat was macaroni and cheese with sugar on it.
Yeah.
They took me off the meds. I rediscovered food. That was at age 4. So I went from literally being underweight to I hit kindergarten at 100 pounds. I was a 105-year-old.
Right.
I refound food. But for the longest time, that was the only thing I would eat. I'm still obsessed with sugar on my macaroni and cheese to this day.
Right.
Like, it makes me happy. It hits a happy place. Sometimes means I'm stress eating because that's a personal problem I have.
Right.
I am a stress eater. I'm an emotional overeater. I mostly manage that pretty well, but every once in a while I have a really bad day, and it is my equivalent of going and grabbing a 5th of Jim Beam or Johnny Walker or whatever and throwing back shots.
Right.
Continue.
So he makes his macaroni and cheese, and he has an issue with it. It's salty.
Yeah, I'm very confused. Why is my macaroni and cheese salty? There's no reason
For it to be salty, especially as salty as it was. It's already salty.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a high sodium prepackaged food. I get that part.
Right. He's like, did you put salt in the sugar? No. Why would I put salt in the sugar? Someone's put salt in the sugar. We kept that minimal amount of sugar in the household that someone in the household, we don't know exactly whom, combined containers of salt and sugar to make salty sugar.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what got me is I had to sit there and process it out. What the hell happened?
Right.
Because I've been using that damn canister for sugar for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It has been my go-to sugar container.
Right.
I love it. It holds a 3-pound bag, like one of the
Right.
little baby bags. It'll almost hold a 3-pound.
Right.
Or one of the little ones. And it's like the perfect amount. You can get a few cups out of it, whatever. I had to process. I literally still didn't believe it happened. So, making the matter worse, is it salt?
Yeah.
And tasted it. It's salt.
Yep.
Oh my God. Here's the other thing one needs to know about Joe. I hate salt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use salt.
Right.
Ever. I don't put Vlad on anything. Y'all, it's hard doing a show, let me just tell you, because I start to read comments and then they come out of my mouth. I don't put salt on anything. I will specifically avoid it in many recipes. I don't use salt.
He just apparently doesn't know that it happens.
Well, yeah, you salt everything.
Yes.
But for me personally, like I used to buy low sodium everything just to avoid it. I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, salted macaroni and cheese. First of all, though I'm weird, I do like salt and vinegar potato chips. Go figure that one. But salted macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no. Ugh. Joe says he gets salty enough. He don't need no help.
Right.
Oh yeah. So Brenda and Shannon are debating. Brenda says it was Gizmo. He was getting back at his humans. Shannon says Vlad did it.
Possibly both of them correlated with Anna to get it done.
I
We
blame
don't
Anna
know.
outright. I blame Anna outright.
Okay. Yeah, because she is evil.
It's on a shelf.
Yeah.
Vlad and Gizmo can't get to it.
Well, Gizmo can't get it because he's behind 2 gates.
Mm-hmm.
Vlad can get to it. Don't you let him think that he can't stand up on his back legs, because he can.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
normally doesn't.
He normally doesn't.
Very, very much does he not.
Right.
But yeah, no, I was just, and it was one of those days where I was having a bit of a triggering day, and I was just like, I want my macaroni and cheese. This is gonna be my 5th of Jim Beam right now. Yeah, because I can control the macaroni and cheese. He got told at the very beginning of our relationship, if you ever see me eating a Sara Lee cherry cheesecake, run. Like, run.
Yeah, other items we don't buy.
Yeah, no, we never ever buy those.
Although
Because
I do have a cheesecake recipe I'm waiting to try on you.
Yeah, but no, frozen Sara Lee cheesecake. That is probably like the alcoholic equivalent of drinking rubbing alcohol for me.
Okay.
Like, I will inhale it. I will sometimes inhale 2 or 3 of them. Like, and have done that. That's bad.
Yeah, but you're getting there. You've done really, really well.
Oh, I haven't done that in almost 20 years.
Right.
I've eaten them frozen.
Right. But no, so all the husband here is doing, in my view, is supporting you. Knock it off.
Yeah. I think he may be a little insulted, but I think that if you really consider it from his perspective, you might be less insulted.
Right.
There's no point in playing with this.
Right. Intending. All right, guys, let's check the poll. No, he doesn't.
What?
Let them thaw out.
No. Well, I would prefer to, but I've been known to eat them fully frozen.
All right. And again, you are not the asshole.
Yay, not the asshole. Cool.
All right, guys. You guys have a magical evening. We will see you Thursday night with coffee and tea. And with Natalie. Natalie will be having tea with me.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Night.
Hey. There's some special people. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcsbnetwork.com.
Reminder that Saturday is Psychic Saturday. Go ahead and get your bookings in.
Woohoo, the 27th.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
Good night.